God puts every person on this earth to fulfill a mission. And that mission involves a vocation. Vocation comes from the Latin vocare, which means to call. Imagine our Lord saying to you, "Come and follow me." Our Lord is calling you to a beautiful vocation, and you have to pray about it. And you have to eventually become so convinced of it that you are willing to destroy any obstacle that comes in the way of your vocation. We begin to know our vocation by saying to the Lord, "Lord, what do you want me to do for you?" He might say to you, "I want you to leave everything and to become a priest." Other people will be called to the religious life. These are very heroic souls. Their portion will be to follow our Lord in poverty, in chastity, and in obedience. And for the majority of people, our vocation will be to marriage. And some people think that marriage is the non-vocation, for those who are not called to be priests and not called to be a monk or a nun. In reality, marriage is the vocation that images the love of Christ for his church. It is seen on the cross when our Lord dies and his heart is pierced, and out of his heart flows blood and water, and is born the church as Eve was born out of the side of Adam in paradise. The sacrament of marriage is about living out the crucifixion. In Hollywood, you will see something very different. And I know for a fact, and it is to my utter frustration to sort of drill out of the minds of our young people the Hollywood romance kind of image of what marriage actually is. Marriage is not about me, walking down the street and I kind of fumble into a girl and I fall head over heels in love with her and everything is beautiful and perfect and we were like meant to be together and we get married and there's no problems and we live happily ever after. Or sort of those very simplistic Disney movies where they see each other and just they're looking at each other. She has such perfect eyes. He has such a perfect nose. His height is just so wonderful. Her shape, everything. This is what is beautiful. Her hair is so wonderful. And then I fall in love and all is beautiful and all is perfect and I get married. My dear young friends, if this is your idea of the person you're going to meet and marry, please allow me today to divest you of such silliness. Please allow me to divest you of something that will be literally your greatest obstacle to an actual vocation. Because almost none of the people that I know had anything remotely similar to something from a Hollywood movie. No. Love looks like not a Disney movie. Again, love looks like the crucifixion. And in Hollywood, they don't do movies about the crucifixion unless they are usually very blasphemous. It takes a Catholic guy like Mel Gibson to do a real movie about our Lord dying on the cross, not Hollywood. And so therefore, if we want to know how to find a spouse, we need to come to the church who is the expert on love and marriage and on this wonderful sacrament. And the first thing that I will say to you, maybe this is not the first thing, I've said many things already. When you are a girl and a guy comes to you and you look at him for 4 seconds and he talks and you look at his hair and you look at his clothes and you look at his nose, maybe you look at his teeth or his height or his belly or something, and you kind of make that snap judgment, okay, where you're like, no, this guy is not for me. That 4-second decision by which you just totally obliterated this guy from the existence in your mind, and you kind of said, no, this guy is not for me, this is utter foolishness. Okay? If this is how you act, if this is how you approach your decisions about meeting someone, please please allow me to tell you how foolish you are. How foolish you are. How silly you are. How misled by Hollywood you are. To think that you're just going to look at him and he's going to be this dashing, Prince Charming, come down off of a beautiful horse, and he's going to have this perfect clothes and these perfect teeth. Oh, they're going to be just so beautiful and so wonderful, and his hair perfectly coiffured, and his smell, and there's going to be actually music in the background, and birds will flutter around you. Please divest yourself of such silliness. It's not going to be a Disney movie. Okay? So if you are saying, psst, no, don't talk to me, to wonderful guys coming from wonderful families who are awesome, whom your mom and dad and your priest and many wise and wonderful people are telling you, this is a great guy. And you're like, no, this is not the guy. Somehow it doesn't match the Disney thing. You're like, no, but Disney. No, but that romance movie it just doesn't fit that. Silliness. Utter silliness. Please, those snap judgments are your first obstacle to finding the right person. Because, let me tell you this, okay? I have indeed seen many a girl that finds this kind of Prince Charming type guy, okay, who it seems very fine and dandy and love and romance and so on, and they get married, and a month later, they are divorced. And for those people, I say, I have very little compassion for you. I don't feel very sorry for you. I'm here being very hard on you, because you did not listen to the advice of wisdom, or the advice of prudence, or perhaps to wise parents or wise priests who tried to direct you. And you're like, no, I know. And when you chose, they're like, no, but this person is not good for you. And you, in your infatuation, you were so head over heels in love that no one could tell you anything. And if anyone did, you X them out, and this person doesn't understand me, and they don't love me, and you create all sorts of drama around your life so that people are like, I don't know, okay, just do whatever you want to do. And then afterwards, you're like, oh, what did I do? And it's not fair, and why do I have to live like this, and so on. So, what is the solution? The solution is that we have to listen. We have to listen to God. We have to listen to the church. We have to be formed on what to look for. We have to have criteria. We have to have principles before we meet anyone. And we have to be sort of okay. We cannot be screwed up and delusional and super melancholic and idealistic and out of touch with reality and start looking for a person to get married to. We have to be realistic and prudent and wise and of good judgment and able to listen to counsel. Enough said about that. Next point. What do I need in order to start dating? If I am 7 years old, I could get into the car, take the key, put it in the ignition, turn it, and just start driving. Is that the right thing to do? No. I have seen some 7-year-olds that drive, but it's not usually the right thing. In order to drive, we usually need to learn the rules of the road. What does red mean? What does green mean? What does yellow mean? What does the stop sign mean? What does the do not enter or the yield and so on? And we have to go through a process, getting a license where we know the theoretical things and we know how to drive. We know how to park a car. We know how to, start driving, how to stop, how to be in the middle of traffic. without this sort of knowledge and the process by which people normally would get their license, we doubt, is this person safe on the road? And other people, are they safe being around such a car, driven by, let's say, the 7-year-old? If you are a person who does not have things together, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, humanly, and on many levels, if you are not mature, if you have not grown up, you're not ready for dating. Okay? And sometimes it happens that an 18-year-old is quite ready. They are very, very ready. And sometimes it happens that a 35-year-old is not.